Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to show you a really simple way to improve your ability to multitask as Zerg. A lot of Zerg players, they say, when Terran drops me in multiple places, I have no idea what to do and I just die. I'll show you what I do. Here. First, you have Zerg, right? I'm going to take you to the menu, Options, Hotkeys, Global, Unit Management, not Unit Management, Control Groups. In the Control Group section, you notice this. All of these are red and unbound. Well, how do I play the game if they're unbound? We'll find out. Select Control Group. I have all these set, so you can just select them. You hit the button, it selects the group. This is empty. Oh my goodness gracious. What on the earth? How do you even play the video game? What? This. Create control group and take away units. Add to control group and take away units. I don't even use these. They added this, create control group and take away units, specifically so people could play Archon mode. But the advantage for this in just a normal single player experience, where you're in a 1v1 or maybe playing 2v2 and you're just controlling your own units, is it combines the removal of units and the addition of units to a different group in the same step. So you save yourself a ton of effort just by doing a full switch from these to these. And I'll demonstrate this for you. So I'll take over this game. It's going to give a victory screen here, that's fine. So I have, let's just F2 everything because a lot of people start from F2. So I F2 and I use the shift command and I have everything in this group too. I have 98 units of Lingbane. Now a lot of times people end up playing a little kid soccer game in StarCraft, which is you have all your stuff in one clump and your opponent attacks you and you send everything that you have to go deal with that. And that becomes a little bit overkill. It's kind of like trying to swat at a fly that's in your apartment with a machine gun or a chainsaw or something. Like really disproportionate response to the level of the threat. So what you do is, say I have this army and I see there are 2 medevacs of Marines that are about to hassle this base. What I'll do is I'll box like this, what I think would be able to beat 2 medevacs, and then I shift 4 or whatever hotkey you have for your 4th group, and I just send it over here, and it doesn't impact this main army group because I use the steal function. So I created a group, and I took those units away from my main group, which is my main army. Which means if my opponent is setting up a Marine tank push here, and they're double dropping me here, I can just double tap army, I fight you here. Double tap secondary group, I fight you here. What if we wanted to take this a step further? Instead of me just having a large claw, which is my main army, or as Sun Tzu would say, your normal force, and I have this group as my extraordinary force. What if I wanted to harass my opponent as well? Well, I could take these Banes, and I could shift 3, or control 3, whichever, and I just stole them from this main army. Now I can click the main army around, and those units, they're not part of it. So I could send them on a quest. Let's send them like this. And then this army is chilling. I'm defending attacks. This army is chilling. I'm defending double drop medevac stuff. My queens are able to do stuff because they're on their own key. Army, harass. Look at that. They're just going in there and harassing. And these ones are defending. And these ones are also defending. And now I can repeat that process. Box, steal, shift 3. Let's just run these into the natural. But now I can go back to my army and I could fight my opponent's army. I could set up a kind of surround where if they attack in here, I can slap them from both sides. And this group still stays over here. And these units are attacking stuff because I stole them and sent them on a secret mission. But then what if you make some mistakes and your units are kind of all over the place and you feel really disjointed, but you feel like you're ahead and you have more stuff? That's when you use the F2. So I have this bound to space. And then I can just say shift 2, watch this. 138 units, they're all in the same key now. So now I have F2, so everything is gathered up again. And I have one really strong sledgehammer. So these units are all together. And if I feel like my opponent is really behind, I could just grab all of that stuff and then add it to this group. But it's important that you don't just use F2. As Zerg, one of the most crucial things for you to do is to be able to hotkey your eggs. I'll show that. So I have my hatches selected. That's group 1. I select my larva. And then I can just hold down the Ling button, or whatever unit that I want to make. We'll say overlords here. So I have these units. Imagine these are whatever, but I want to add them to my army. I do shift 2. They're added to the army. And then now you see these rally points here. They're naturally going to join the army. The reason this is really important for Zerg is because eggs and larvae do not get selected when you F2. So you have to shift add them to whatever your group is. And I'll show you another little trick here. What if I don't actually want these overlords in my army? I can remove them. Let's just send these on a quest. I use the steel to send the Banes in. They can go blap some stuff. Okay, so we have these overlords, but I don't want these overlords in my army. I hold down Control and Shift at the same time, and I click. They're removed, and then I can do Shift 2. So I just rebound the group. I created group 2 with everything but the overlords, which I just deselected from the command card. I'll do that again. So I do Shift Add. So I added these overlords. Control Shift Click. Control 2. So I created a new group. And you can repeat that process. That's what makes a lot of these Ling Bane based armies really effective, is your ability to be fluid. So these units are running this way. These units are running this way. And I can steal these units and send them into the Terran base. So these are attacking over here. My army is contesting my opponent's army here. This harass group is running in here. And then, if I want to gather up everything again, I F2, I Shift 2, so everything is in my main army, and then we can all fight together as one. So to show you one more time, just to reiterate, it's in Menu, Options, Hotkeys, Global, Control Groups, using the Create and Take Away Units. I'm using the core hotkey layout, so everything is kind of weird. I'm using the center of the keyboard for my hand placement, which means I don't have to move my hand as much overall, so it's really ergonomic and efficient. But even for a standard hotkey layout, this add to group and take away units feature is super useful, so I highly recommend it, especially for Zerg, but I have this on for when I play Protoss and Terran as well. So be fluid, don't use F2 too much. It's a tool, but it shouldn't be your go-to for all your moves, because Zerg really relies on hotkeying the eggs that they make into the army, so that as soon as they emerge, as soon as they're born and made, they can just rush out to the battlefield right away.